There's lots of people out there that want to protect animals. We live in a world full of animal lovers. So how can you be the best animal rights activist you can be? Is there a right and wrong way? Hi everyone, welcome to Animal Educate. My name's Abby, and today we're going to be looking at animal rights and how to be the best animal rights activist you can possibly be. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and give it a like if you like the video. I became an animal rights activist quite some time ago, and it all started when I went vegan. I adopted a vegan lifestyle when I was introduced to two animal rights vegan documentaries, Earthlings and Forks Over Knives. Being an activist gave me some valuable experience talking to people. I've done loads of outreach work. I've attended vigils at slaughterhouses. I've made lots of videos, and I continue today to help people to adopt a plant-based diet, to go vegan. So there's lots of ways that you can help. I think in order to be a really good activist, there's some things that you need to know. And I've learned this over many years of dealing with people and of being a teacher. I believe that activism is one of the most powerful and important areas of the animal rights movement. So what is animal rights? Animal rights is exactly as it states, that animals should have rights. So it's the idea that they're entitled to the possession of their own existence, and that they should be afforded the same consideration as human beings. Animals can be exploited in many different ways. For instance, they can be used in labs for testing. They can be used for sports, both illegal and legal, like bullfighting, dog fighting, horse racing. Many animals are kept in zoos, and unfortunately, many zoos hide behind conservation, so they're not actually benefiting that animal, they're just captive animals. You've got animals that are bred for food. Over 56 billion animals are killed every single year. That doesn't even include marine life. You've got trophy hunting, you've got the pet trade, you have domestic animals like dogs that are abused left, right and centre. So what is an animal rights activist? So most animal rights activists are either vegetarian or vegan, but some also consider themselves environmentalists and even conservationists. They believe that animals deserve to be happy, live cruelty-free lives. They protest, they work against animal factory farming. Their main primary goal is to end speciesism. They educate the public. They do outreach work. Some activists, they work tirelessly lobbying, working to strengthen laws and protect animals. Animal rights activists have a very strong online presence. Most people that are on social media across any platforms will be aware of animal rights activists. You have to remember, now in this age, with cameras and phones and civilian journalists, we have access to more of the things that are happening in the world. And activists, they throw it on social media, they get it out there, they expose the wrongdoings. Some activists, they'll specialise in a particular area. It might be an activist is particularly focused on factory farming. It might be they attend vigils, but they don't necessarily do any outreach work. It might be some activists stay off of social media. Some people, they find an area they feel most passionate about, or an area they know most about, or perhaps most interested in, and then they focus on that. And actually, sometimes that's more effective. When you're focusing on everything, you could say you're spreading yourself way too thin. How to be the best activist ever? Educate yourself. This is so important because it's so huge and there's so many issues within the animal rights movement, within animal welfare, because you're going to get into conversations with lots of different people. Getting people to listen to you is absolutely crucial. You must try and be as factual as possible. There's so many things that you can look into. You can look at climate impact. You can look at factory farming methods. You can look at medically, how does consuming animals and dairy impact us human beings? You can look at studies. Studies and science are of utmost importance here, because people generally do listen to science, but they also listen to stories. So you need to get to know different situations globally where animals have been saved. Research is going to be your greatest aid. The more you know about how animals are treated across the world, the more you can start connecting things together, and the greater impact you will have in a conversation with someone. So keep up to date with new developments as well. Once you've made a start at educating yourself, you can start then educating your family and friends. Change one mind at a time. You can get involved with animal rights organisations if you want to. Our individual actions are fantastic, and we can, as just one person, make a massive impact. But collectively, when we unite and come together, we can make massive changes. We've proved this time and time again through history. Meeting other people that share the same goals is brilliant, because not only do you stay more focused and motivated, you can support each other. Animal rights, protecting animals and trying to communicate with people that aren't necessarily wanting to listen to you is very difficult. And sometimes the realities just get too much. You need people around you that share those same goals and feel the same things as you. So why not look for local groups? Just start locally, even if it's just online. It's good to know what organisation is doing what. You can donate your money, you can donate time, even if you're just donating to a charity, you're just chucking out some old clothes. There's so much that you can do. Go around your house and just see what you don't need anymore and give it to an animal charity. There's plenty of people that need help, whether it's just helping to gather newspaper for bedding, or raising funds for them, or driving animals around. The list again is endless. There's so much that you can do. You just need to contact the right people. As I became an activist, and over the years, I knew that there was something missing for me. I knew there was more for me on what I could offer. And I think what it came down to in the end was gathering all of my skill set together, knowing and identifying where I was most valuable in the movement, what I could offer that I wasn't offering. Have a think about what your skills are. What are you good at? Me, I love video. I love to make films. I love to teach, and I love to learn about animals. They're all my skills in one. So I started my channel, and this is the best way for me to help animals. Maybe you're an artist or a graphic designer. Maybe you could start doing work for animal rights companies, organisations. Maybe you could help out. Maybe you could raise awareness via your art. If you're a photographer, I've seen plenty of photography that's not necessarily showing graphic images, but has just as much power. If you're a writer, you can write blogs, you can write stories, you can write books. If you're a good public speaker, great, you can get out there and talk to people. Find your skills. If you know what they are already, think about how you can use them in the movement. Some people, you're not going to engage them by talking about animal abuse. There's other ways into that. You can talk to them about nature, you can talk to them about the environment, you can talk to them about things that perhaps they're interested in, and then you find a route in that way. There's so many different ways of talking about animal exploitation and animal rights, but it doesn't have to be in a really direct, scary way. It's important to consider communication techniques and what's the most effective way of advocating for animals. It's important if we want to have productive conversations. When you're going into a conversation with someone about animal abuse or exploitation in some form or another, what you say to them may be threatening them in some way. It might be you're threatening their lifestyle, everything that they've been brought up to believe. So they're instantly going to feel negative on some level, which will manifest in being defensive. They might get angry with you. There's other ways to get the results you want from that conversation. You need to stay rational and level-headed. If you start displaying irrational behaviour What does that say about the animal rights movement? What does that do to the information that you're presenting? It devalues it. You must try and stay as balanced and calm as possible. You can get really angry as an advocate, but you need to use that anger to get to your goal, to protect whatever species it is that you're trying to protect. You need to be polite, you need to be understanding. Always make it your aim to keep that person calm and curious. We all filter information in different ways, so it's just important to make sure we have different bridges of communication. Listening and being relatable are two of the most effective techniques that you can do as an activist. It makes the person that you're talking to feel less judged and more comfortable. It's important you listen to people with empathy and you have respect for them. Yes, they have a point that's counter to yours, and that's important. You need to understand their point. You need to understand their reasoning and why they continue to do what it is that you're against. What is it that's driving them to believe what they believe? Is it fear? Is it hate? Is it fantasy? Once you understand that, you've got a much better chance of having a positive, proactive conversation with them. Simply asking questions can be far more effective than giving answers. This is actually a method, it's called the Socratic method. So it allows the other person that you're talking to reach certain conclusions on their own without being told how they feel. By using this method of questioning, what you're doing is you're stimulating critical thinking. You're also drawing out ideas that often create contradictions. So for example, instead of stating animal cruelty is wrong, you can say, do you think animal cruelty is wrong? And so on and so on. So then that conversation goes in a different way than it would if you were just making a statement and forcing an emotion. So that's it from me today, guys. I hope this video has helped you to understand animal rights a bit better and how to be a good advocate or activist. It's difficult, and I'm not going to say it's ever going to be easy, but you will get there and you will definitely get stronger and be able to manage your emotions and people. That's what it comes down to. If you've enjoyed the video, if I've helped you, please do subscribe to my channel and like the video. Until next time.